Welcome to the debate. When we think of a lifeline, we usually picture something you can physically grab onto, like a rope thrown into turbulent water. Or,
Right, a tether holding a climber to a rock face. You hold on, and it holds you back.
exactly. But this past week in Hawaii, the lifelines keeping people safe haven't been made of nylon. They've been made of, well, radio waves and cellular signals.
Yeah, we're looking at the stark reality of the March 2026 storms. Over 131,000 power outages statewide.
It's incredible, including, I think, about a third of Honolulu County just plunged into the dark, completely cut off by massive flooding and landslides.
And so the question becomes, when you're trapped behind a washed-out road in pitch black, how does critical information actually reach you?
Right, which is what we're arguing today. During catastrophic, prolonged power failures, what's the most reliable lifeline for an isolated resident? And, I'll take a traditional hand crank or battery radio any day. They offer this kind of off-grid, enduring resilience that modern smartphones just can't match when things get really bad.
And I have to push back on that. I'm arguing that mobile wireless emergency alerts, or WEAs, provide a targeted, immediate disruption that makes them a far superior primary tool when lives are actually on the line.
Well, let's look at what actually happens when the grid goes down. Your house goes dark, your streetlights go out, but the broadcast infrastructure doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
The Hawaiian Electric Emergency Handbook points out that local emergency alert system broadcasters, stations like KSSK and KRTR, they're fortified with heavy-duty backup generators.
Right. They have their own independent power.
Information. You completely bypass the fragility of the local power grid.
That's a compelling point about endurance, for sure. But I look at this through the lens of human attention. I favor WEAs because of how they plug into the Integrated Public Alert and Warning System.
The IPAUS infrastructure.
Yeah, exactly. That's essentially a national government-controlled digital pipeline that forces alerts through to every cell tower in a specific danger zone. A traditional radio requires you to actively turn it on and listen. A WEA, well, it actively finds you.
By pushing that blaring sound and vibration directly to your phone.
Right. Plus, they don't get stuck in network traffic.
Wait, but how exactly do they bypass that traffic? Because when a storm hits, everyone is trying to call 911 or text their families. The networks usually get completely jammed up.
It's actually a brilliant piece of engineering. Unlike a regular text message or phone call that needs dedicated bandwidth, a WEA uses the control channel of a cell network.
Okay, what does that mean exactly?
It's the tiny sliver of background bandwidth your phone uses just to show you have bars. So even if the network is completely overloaded with calls, the WEA slips right through.
I see why you think that's superior. But let's shift from the engineering to the physical reality on the ground right now. A WEA is essentially a high-performance sports car with a tiny gas tank. It is absolutely brilliant until it stops.
You're talking about the smartphone battery dying.
Precisely. We have massive outages and road closures right now. People are physically trapped behind the Kalianiole Highway and Mokapu Saddle Road landslides.
Yeah, the isolation is severe.
So in these situations of prolonged isolation, how reliable is that WEA once a smartphone battery inevitably dies after, say, 24 hours in the dark? A hand crank radio, on the other hand, can be powered indefinitely just by turning a handle.
Sure, but if a flash flood is coming at midnight, I need that sports car to wake me up. A bicycle with infinite stamina won't do me any good if a wall of water hits while I'm asleep.
That's a fair point.
Let's look at the specific 11:51 p.m. flash flood warning issued for Honolulu County on Friday.
Right in the middle of the night.
Exactly. A hand crank radio sitting on a kitchen counter, powered off to save its AA batteries, does nothing when water is approaching at midnight. The WEA physically wakes a sleeping resident up.
I hear that, though I would frame the system's reliability differently. Yes, the WEA uses that tiny control channel sliver of bandwidth, but that assumes the cell tower itself hasn't lost its backup power or been washed out by the exact same landslide that closed the road.
Well, towers do have generators too.
They do, but broadcast radio towers are highly fortified centralized assets. If a local cell relay goes down, your sports car isn't just out of gas, the road itself is entirely gone.
But if we're talking about reaching remote or isolated areas, the localized targeting of a WEA is unmatched.
A broadcast tower sends the same signal everywhere. A WEA geofences the alert.
Meaning it only hits specific phones?
Right. It only targets the specific phones pinging the towers right in the localized danger zone. That prevents unnecessary panic across the rest of the island.
It seems we're really looking at two different philosophies of resilience here. I emphasize the long-term, off-grid endurance of traditional radio, like the ability to keep receiving a signal days into a blackout.
Well, I prioritize the immediate, localized, and, attention-grabbing power of the WEA, the system designed to wake you up when seconds matter most.
I think we actually converge on the idea that these methods address completely different phases of an emergency timeline. The WEA acts as the immediate alarm bell.
And the radio serves as the sustained lifeline for the duration of the isolation.
Exactly. They serve entirely different psychological and logistical needs in a crisis, which means there is a lot more to explore in the source material for anyone looking to refine their own emergency communication strategies. So, when the grid goes down and the darkness sets in, what kind of lifeline will you be reaching for?